Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are going to tackle something that drives everyone crazy. Why do some problems seem to haunt us, popping up over and over, while other issues get solved for good? Well, the secret is all about understanding the huge difference between a simple correction and a true corrective action.
I mean, you know the feeling, right? You put in the time, you put in the energy, you fix something, you feel great, and then a week later, maybe a month later, poof, it's back. That incredibly frustrating cycle of déjà vu problem solving is exactly what we're going to break down today.
All right, so to figure out how to solve these problems permanently, we first have to look at how we usually react when they show up. It turns out our gut instinct, our first move, can sometimes be the very thing that leads us astray. Let's use a really simple analogy. You see a puddle of water on the floor. What's your first instinct? You grab a mop, right? You clean it up and the floor is dry. Problem solved. It feels productive, it's an immediate fix. But you haven't actually done anything to stop another puddle from showing up tomorrow. All you've done is deal with the symptom.
And that simple act of mopping the floor perfectly illustrates the two different ways we can respond to a problem. In the world of quality management, they have official names for these: correction and corrective action.
So first up, we've got a correction. This is that immediate slap a Band-Aid on it action. It's mopping the floor, it's restarting your frozen computer, it's putting out the fire. It gets rid of the immediate problem you can see, but it totally ignores the why behind it. It only addresses the symptom. And that leads us to the other option, corrective action. Now notice how the focus does a complete 180. We're not even looking at the puddle anymore. We're looking up at the ceiling, trying to find the leaky pipe. This is all about eliminating the cause of the problem so it can never, ever happen again.
So let's break it down side by side, because this is really the whole ballgame. A correction focuses on the symptom. Its goal is a quick fix, but the result? The problem will probably come back. A corrective action, it focuses on the root cause. Its goal is to prevent it from ever happening again, which means the problem is truly eliminated. One's a temporary patch, the other is a permanent cure. Okay, this all sounds good, but how do we actually do it? How do we stop ourselves from just automatically grabbing the mop and instead start looking for that leaky pipe? Well, it all comes down to having a system. And that system is called root cause analysis, or RCA. Now, this isn't just about asking why one time. It's about being a detective. It's about asking why, and then why was that, and okay, but why was that? You keep digging deeper past all the obvious stuff until you hit that one fundamental thing that started the whole chain reaction. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? You literally cannot have an effective corrective action if you don't know the root cause. Anything else is just a shot in the dark. It's like trying to fix a sputtering car engine by getting a car wash. You have to get the diagnosis right before you can find the cure. And you know, this isn't just some nice idea to be more productive. This whole framework is so critical that it's actually a formal, official process used by major organizations all over the world to guarantee quality and safety. In fact, if you look at huge international standards like ISO 9001, which is basically the rulebook for quality management for thousands of companies, this whole idea is baked right into its core. It is a globally recognized best practice for a reason.
So let's see how this plays out in a place where mistakes can have massive consequences: a hospital. They often use a formal process built around something called a Corrective Action Request, or a CAR for short.
And this CAR process, it is methodical. First, the problem gets officially written down and documented. No ignoring it. Then, the team has to do that all-important root cause analysis. And look at step 3. This is brilliant. The plan has to include both things: the immediate correction, yep, mopping the floor, and the long-term corrective action, fixing the pipe. Finally, the plan gets reviewed and, this is key, they actually check up on it later to make sure the fix stuck.
And they are serious about it. There is real accountability built in. Once a CAR is issued, the department responsible has just 5 working days to do their analysis and submit a complete action plan. The clock is ticking.
So what if they're late? Well, the consequences are very real. It gets logged in an official registry. The issue gets escalated way up the chain to the hospital directors. And it can even end up on the department head's performance review. That's how you make sure people take the system seriously.
And this is what that accountability looks like: a non-submission registry. It creates total transparency. Everybody can see which department is responsible, why there's a delay, and whether the issue is still a problem. There's simply nowhere to hide, which forces everyone to focus on finding those permanent solutions. Now, okay, that hospital system is pretty formal. But the principle behind it, that is a super powerful tool that any of us can use in any part of our lives. It's really about shifting from a procedure to a mindset.
This whole idea fits perfectly into one of the most famous models for getting better over time, the plan, do, check, act cycle. Finding the root cause and taking corrective action isn't a one-and-done thing. It's the critical act part of the cycle. It's the engine that powers real, continuous improvement. And really, this is what it all boils down to. This is the big mental shift. It's about training yourself to just pause before you instinctively reach for that mop. It's about asking that one extra question: why did this happen in the first place? That single question makes all the difference between being a temporary problem fixer and a permanent problem solver.
So I'll just leave you with this to think about. What's that one annoying, nagging problem in your world that just keeps coming back? The one you keep putting a patch on? The next time you see it, I challenge you, don't just grab the mop. Take a second and start looking for the leak, because that's how you solve problems for good.